Hello?
We got disconnected.
We certainly did get disconnected. Hold on, let me turn the call record on just a moment. So what was the last part that you heard?
You were saying that you're a reflection of what people who are not living their lives.
That's the last thing that you heard?
The last thing I heard, you got really intense about how people see you and you're like a reflection of what they haven't been doing in their life.
Okay, did you hear the part about prostituting?
Yes.
Okay.
A combination of audio difficulties and an effort to save time, Charang's questions have been transcribed onto the screen. So if you'd like to see the questions I'm responding to, please look at the screen. Otherwise, here we go.
So like I was saying, there are some people right now who will read this article who are living lives that they don't want to live and who are prostituting themselves in exchange for that life. Well, you know what? Remember when I talked about every single thing, even if it seemed like a hardship, it was really a blessing? I was made prepared for this by the hardships in Latin America. When I went to Central and South America, I was made ready because I hit rock bottom when I was in Buenos Aires, emotional rock bottom, because it had been a year plus since I closed my business. I had been traveling on the road, no real place, no foundation to call home, just faltering, just flailing out there. I couldn't stay in the places that I wanted to stay, eat the foods that I wanted to eat. I didn't have the type of money that I wanted to have. And it really took me having to ask myself, who am I? Who am I without the money? Who am I without the career? So many people self-identify with their careers. You ask a person who they are, and they're like, oh, I'm a writer. Oh, I'm a filmmaker. Oh, I'm a policeman. Oh, I'm a teacher. But is that really who you are? What are you if those things get taken away? And so I had to ask myself when I was on that trip, who is Tonya? Who am I? And what is my value and what is my worth if I don't have money? If I don't have the ability to take care of myself, who am I? Am I still worth anything? Do I still have value? Do I still love myself if I can't do the things for myself that I would like to do? Am I still worthy of love? And so these were the things that I had to confront myself with when I was on my trip. So when I got into this situation, all of those questions that I had asked myself months before all came crashing into my face. Who are you, Tonya? What is it that you're made of? Are you valuable? Are you worthful? Do I deserve love from other people or even love from myself? For so many people, ourselves is the first person that we deny love to. So then you have to ask yourself, are you worthy of your own love? And I had to ask myself that. And it's funny that you asked this question because part of the issue when I went away on that trip, when I went to go write these books, I couldn't get the books out. Because it had been so long since I had done my own self-love journey. Because, my mother died when I was 19. And I had to go through the journey of trying to figure out who it was that I am and who it is that I'm choosing and willing to be. And so I went through that journey when I was 19. And I became the woman that I am today. And it wasn't until I got into that situation in the car, living in the car, not knowing how I was going to get out, not being able to take care of myself, not being able to eat good like I like to eat, sleep good like I like to sleep. And so the book the book birthed itself. I didn't even have to try to write the book. It was like when I was in that situation trying to figure out who it was that I am and trying to figure out, am I going to continue to love myself and how do I continue to love myself? It was when that stuff was glaringly, obviously in my face that the words for the book began to pour out. The entire outline wrote itself during my displacement. When we start asking, who are we? When you think about it, Charang, us as human beings, every single cell of our body is different than the cells that we had when we were children. Every single cell has changed. But what is the part that is constant? As your body changes, as you begin to deteriorate physically or grow up physically or your bones stretch out, or you grow taller or shorter or fatter or slimmer, what is that one part that stays constant? What is that part on the inside that does not change? That is who you are. And that is who I had to tap into when I was displaced. I am energy. And I have a very unique vibration that resonates at its own unique vibration and resonance on this earth. Who is Tonya? And then also, when you talk about energy and tapping into your intuition, I know that we have help. We have a higher self. We have guides. We have help. And so in the midst of all of that, when I didn't know what to do, I trusted. I trusted in my own energy. I trusted in myself. I trusted in my higher self. And I listened to that because it has not led me wrong. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. And finally, you seem to be a person that is all about experiences. Like, that's what you value more than anything. Would you call yourself a wanderer or a free spirit? And also, do you think black girls are allowed to be that?
Well, that's a loaded question. Let's break it down one by one, okay? Do I value experiences above all else? That's an interesting question. Do I value experiences above all else? What I do value is, I would say, interpretation in relation to those experiences. Choice. I value choice above all else because in every situation there is choice. Choices is why we're here. Choice is what creates who it is that we are. Choice is what creates our experience, and choice is what creates how we interpret those experiences. All of it is choice. I had the choice to become downtrodden when I was in the car. I had the choice to become depressed. I had the choice to buckle. I had the choice to fall under. I had the choice to start cursing people out if I had chosen to. I had the choice to love myself regardless, come what may. I had the choice. And so I chose me. I chose love. And I chose positivity. I chose upward movement. And so would I consider myself a wanderer and a free spirit? I believe that we're all spirits who are free, that we decide to trap into the confines of so many different things. Our surroundings, our race, our gender, our religion, the things that we identify as a human being. So I believe that we are all naturally and inherently, we're a nomadic people. That's how the globe got populated. So I believe that we are all deep in our hearts wanderers and people who are here for the experience of living and the choice of those experiences thereof. And then are black girls allowed? I think that there are so many different, the fact that we even have these labels like black and white and female and male, girls, women, the fact that we have these labels to kind of identify who a person is shows that we already don't wander. The way people freak out when a man puts on a skirt. When in ancient Roman times, men wore skirts all the time. And in Muslim countries, they still do. And so it's like we have these ideas that we pigeonhole other people and ourselves into, when I think that we were all meant to be fluid in whatever way that we choose to be fluid as human beings. Remember when I said that my energy and my resonance is unique to me? And I'm sure if you have ever been in love, that you would know the vibration of your sweetheart even if your eyes were closed. If you're a mother, you know the vibration of your children. It's like each human being has their own energy. And I think that we were all meant to live as we see fit individually, fluidly. And there's so many different constraints that try to tie us in. But how this relates to black women, I think that the confines for black women are even tighter than so many other women across the world. That people have so many different ideas of what it means to be, quote unquote, black, and what it should mean to be a, quote unquote, black woman. And those confines are killing us, with tumors riddled all through our uteruses, with stresses and diseases that these boxes and these confines are pushing us down into. The burdens that black women bear being black women, and as you see, the lack of support that we get. Even if I had been Latina, the situation wouldn't have gone down the way it went down. If I were East Asian, like from Korea, Japan, or one of these, and I asked for help, you couldn't imagine Korean, Japanese, and these other men coming out bashing. You couldn't imagine that. You couldn't imagine that for Latinas, and you couldn't imagine that for white women either. The only place that you see this on the internet is among black people, black American people, black Americans. And it's like people don't really want to see themselves as crabs in a barrel. They don't see themselves individually as trying to pull others down or pull a black woman down or confine her. They don't see that. But when the collective, when you look at the story from afar, when you look at the forest and the trees, it looks a lot like a duck. It walks a lot like a duck, and it quacks like one too.
All right. That is it.
Girl, you are a great interview. I'm so mad that I hadn't spoken to you beforehand. You said a lot of...
I really thank you. You got me so hyped right now. You have your work cut out for you with transcribing this. I tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sorry if there were a few times that I was really going full throttle Tonya Tko on you.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate you speaking with me and allowing me to be the vessel to tell your story.
Yeah, you know what? I have this feeling that this is how it all begins. This is how it all begins. You know, like all of the people who tried to suppress me and tried to stop me, what they did was they drummed up a lot of traffic for me, and they got me that Huffington Post piece, and the Huffington Post piece connected me with you. So this is how it all begins, and I have no doubt that I'm going on much further from here. I'm rebranding myself. This has been such a blessing for me because I'm rebranding the story of the phoenix rising from the ashes, because my story has empowered so many people to go after their dreams. There's some people that are glaring that my reflection is uncomfortable to them, but other people are like, if she could do this, I could do it too. I could do anything. And so I'm actually going to start rebranding myself as an expert in transformation, because when you see how the story ends, Charing, not end, because I'm still going on a lot further from here, but when you see how it concludes, you're going to be like, I don't know why I didn't think of that day one. I'm working on a self-love teleclass, a web class teleclass with some coaching and some assessments and stuff like that. Really, really helping people enact change. I believe that the global change is going to come individually. I think part of the reason that the earth is the way that it is now is because we're numb. We're suffering from nihilism. And so we are turning a blind eye to what's going on, how these corporations are profiting off of raping our earth. And it's the only earth we got. And when they're long gone, we're going to still be here with a planet that's crumbling apart. I appreciate you contacting me to do the piece.
Listen, I was out there. I know what it's like. I'm a woman. I did not have to be displaced, Charing. I did not have to be. I could have prostituted myself like one. There's so many men who are willing to take a woman in on their couch in exchange for sex. And there are going to be some people who are reading this article right now who are living lives that they don't want to live.